research, first on the drivers and the scripts. Did you film people? No?
The answer is yes, that was part of it. I got releases from patients so that I could film some of our therapy and training groups.
Yeah?
My hypothesis was that I did see these behavioral defense mechanisms, like doors leading down into distress.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, Eric Berne said, if you look closely at 5 behavioral clues, words, tones, gesture, posture, facial expressions, you will be able to determine where a person's current energy is. What I had done in transactional analysis about that time was I wrote an article on what Eric Berne called the ego states, the parent, the adult, and the child. No one had separated these and identified specific words, tones, gesture, posture, and facial expressions for each of the parent part and child part. I discovered that and developed that.
Okay.
So I could identify mutually exclusively a positive critical parent, a negative critical parent, a positive nurturing, a negative nurturing, an overdoing. So this led to my then moving from that discovery to, there's a sequence here. And the sequence has to do with these doorways. And so I went back to my little apartment, and on the wall, in good thinker fashion, I made my diagram, words, tones, gesture, posture, facial expressions. And I said, some people get perfectionistic. And I'd look at the video and I'd replay it, and just before I saw someone becoming critical, vengeful, or putting one down as a victim, I was able to identify one of these doorways through which they went. Some became perfectionistic and then critical. Some became over-adapted, wanting to please. And so,
how many videos did you watch like that? How did it come to your mind that there might be a pattern and you could recognize it?
I watched over a Thanksgiving holiday about 30 to 40 hours.
Okay.
And with that then and my own observations, I went, aha. And so then when I was convinced that there were just 5 of these drivers in total, and no other doorway would one go through behaviorally in order to get down to either doing this or this or this, then I thought, aha, time for research.
Okay.
And then I created a script checklist that had to do with lots of questions. I gave it to many, many people. I had a statistician at the university score it. And the interesting thing he said was, I don't know what you have, but it's clearly that it is very clear that there are 6 mutually exclusive correlational kinds of data here. And I went, okay. Now, I was both happy and disappointed. And so I kind of forgot about it. I thought, interesting, but not totally accurate. It was not until 1978 that I started to realize this thing called phase. And I thought, wait a minute. People have psychological need, and I had strong correlations with what I called these psychological needs and different behaviors. When I discovered phase, I said, if people get these needs met positively, they don't go into stress. And there's a strong correlation here with trying to get the same need met negatively. My mother had kept everything I'd ever done. Oh, Lisa, she had a handprint of me as a kindergartner with stain there, and I made it on a piece of paper and plaster and paper, and she saved it all. Well, I called my mama Queenie, and I said, Queenie, do you have the results of my research? I kept everything that I did and she did in her attic. Well, when I looked at the data with this new idea of, maybe they're in a different phase. And so if I'm thinker or persister base, I will show the perfectionistic driver the most often. But my phase will determine something different. And so I went, oh my gosh,